Welcome to Bid on You, the podcast, where we help you navigate the chaos of life and experience the bliss of backing yourself. Hosted by yours truly, Marissa Lee. Every Friday, we sit down with creatives, artists, influencers, and just the regular folks to talk dating, adulting, faith, culture, and all the random thoughts in between. It's time to bid on you. So let's start the show.
Lightning.
Sing.
I hope you got
get a
that.
record. Welcome back to Bid on You. Today, tonight, this supper time.
This occasion.
We are joined by one of my bestie pops, bi-coastal bestie, if you will.
Thank you.
We went to Alabama together. Roll Tide.
Yes.
And she's in that other city that you may have heard of. And I'm in Los Angeles, as you know. Woo!
Shout out to Harlem.
All right.
Shameless
So,
plug.
we're going to have an episode of Foolishness, as you can see. And on top of that, we're going to be chatting about just being in different seasons of life versus the phases and stages that your friends are in.
Get into it.
Let's stick around and let's start the show.
Love it.
Woohoo! Okay, so we're going to be really on task. So I just want to preface.
We'll try and be.
That's me manifesting.
Yeah.
Should we cheers to get this thing
Yeah.
started? To the brim.
Yeah.
All right. To us.
Country Club pour.
Hello.
To us.
Eyes to the members. All right. So now that we got that sip in, we're just going to hop right in. Well, who are you? What are you about? Tell the people.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Formal intro? I'll keep it brief.
Yeah, well, we don't have so long.
Short episode. I'm Stasia Foster, for those who don't know, but I've been friends with Marissa for a good little minute now.
How old are we? Ages?
Yeah, no, we're pushing 30. Don't remind her.
Who's we? She's speaking French now.
That yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've just been bebopping around this crazy
Truly.
industry and this crazy little life and these crazy cities, and yeah, doing the best.
Well, what we got?
Bidding on us.
Hello. And
Every
so
day.
that's the point of this whole thing is how do we navigate being girly pops who are from the South? She's from Texas, but like we'll count it like Austin. And that's different than Alabama. You know, I don't know why I
It
did that
is
voice.
one of the most southern states.
Well, with that being said,
physically.
Western. Well, geographically. Which you know how I mean my geography. We'll digress because my mama gonna watch this and be like, literally ashamed. She's gonna sink down in her chair. Whatever. I have one flaw. You found it. Woo! Congrats.
There's another.
It was the state's test.
The writing. Okay. We do the
I'm
best
actually a really
that
good writer, which is what's ironic. Like the
is.
handwriting.
And you're correct. Honestly, I will give you that. I'll give you that. I won't. Yeah. No.
I took
you're
creative
correct.
writing to heart. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll be creative.
You
in
leaned in.
the way that I
Yeah.
also do the stroke of the pen. So sorry, y'all are playing.
Can't
But
have both.
anyway, with that being said, moving to big cities, kind of very outside of the norm of what we grew up surrounded by. And I think that has its own episode to go into, right? But how would you say, I think this is something that I see a lot on TikTok, and then the people be writing in and saying, honey, they were like, what's going on? And the running thread and theme that I'm seeing is just being in different stages of life, seasons, than your friends, right? So the friends that you went to college with or the friends that you grew up with, they're having babies, they're married, they're buying homes. And you're like, hey, I'm getting ready to go to Europe, but I have my own apartment and I'm literally working a red carpet tonight. Woo! Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's so different. And that might not, maybe you an accountant, but you're not ready to have nobody's baby, you know? So it's just an odd time in life because for the first time, it's so odd. Because I guess after it's, you're used to it.
Yeah.
But elementary, middle, primary school, like literally.
All same for everybody. Yeah.
Like we're literally doing the same
in
thing. I'm
lockstep.
seeing you in homeroom.
Yeah.
You want a prom? Awesome. What you going with? Like it can be very disorienting. I think because people don't, you know, we always talk about on this show with adulting. This is what people don't tell you enough. But like that's one of the ones. It's just, I feel like there's a myriad of emotions that can come out of that. It can be loneliness. It could be comparison in a negative direction or positive. Who knows how you see it. And it can be difficult to navigate. A, because there's not a lot of information out there about it. Like there's just another thing that's like
kind of go through it.
Hello. All I can do is pray for you.
Best of luck.
Literally, like everyone's just like, get some hair on your chest. Like no one mentions it, but it's a fact of life.
Yeah.
And I also wonder if now it's worse because we have social media. Like, I think maybe when people moved away, they like wrote letters back in the day. And so it was like, oh, I wonder whatever happened to Sam. And that's why like the high school reunion was important. Yeah. Because you would literally be like, oh, what have you been doing? Yeah. Now I'm like, I see you on TikTok every day with your baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope the baby's well. I hope you're well.
We're so close. We are so connected, yet still so far.
Yeah. And that's how it should be. So distant. If I want to find out, I can.
I will bang down your door.
And it's rare that I do. So I just like having the option. Like, if I wanted to be like, she got married. That's me every day on Instagram now. I'm like, I didn't even see you posted you were engaged. And then the marriage is like, happy 1 year anniversary. I'm like, what?
No, that's on the new algorithm. Full of news.
Yeah, that's on the news.
Full of news. Full of news.
Knee slapper. So, with that, how do you deal with being in different stages of life than your friends?
So, similar to you, I have like a variety of people in different places, spaces, times of their lives. So I think that all the things, all the variations. And I think that something that I've had to do is just be super comfortable with like where I'm at. Not necessarily in comparison to them, but just like standing in my own 2 feet and like being where they are and like where God has placed them and like reminding myself of that because I also am just such a believer in like their journey is quite literally their journey. Like I get like it literally there's no space for me to do that. There's no like it's not mine. And so it's like it's almost like silly to even compare you know, like those sorts of things. But also I think it is such a learning experience for like everybody and all the different seasons that they're going through to like see your friends doing X, Y, and Z and them seeing you doing things that they're not doing, and like everybody's just understanding just how different life can look and how like
it's crazy
opportunities can come to you based on different circumstances and timing and all these things. And so it's like there's so much going on, but also so much to like relish and celebrate and enjoy. And I think that that's like the beauty of it. Even if it is, to your point, like something that's a little confusing or like difficult to navigate or like a little overwhelming at times, just like how life can look so many different ways. And like, you literally have to roll with the punches.
Do you feel like you've always had that attitude, or do you think that's evolved over time? Like great first question. 2 or 3 weddings out of the gate, babies popping out, and you were like, oh, this is just a part of life. Or like, how do we get there? For the people that are watching, they're like, I'm not there yet. How can I?
I don't think that I have. I don't think. I know. And I haven't always. To be very honest.
She's like, I can tell a rumor or the truth. I'm good.
I don't want to get caught in a lie.
Yeah. I insert screenshots of her crashing out. Like 2018. this you? Record. Literally. Not on the read messages. So. That's not a threat.
Not you having them on indefinitely. That's nuts. Okay. See, now I'm frazzled. But what was the question?
You didn't arrive. You had to work on it.
Yes, it took me like going from college where we were all doing the same thing and then like taking those next steps together and like dealing with that, like dealing with those differences and dealing with the different paths, I think like slowly but surely. But also I do feel like I held so tightly to like what I thought, and like the 22-year-old me had no, like, what you know, it's and it's like it's all of these, you know, societal norms and next steps that you're taught. Hello. And I think that I just like held those really tight. And I think it wasn't until recently where I was like given such an opportunity to experience life in such a different way than I like planned on, but me really understanding how much of a blessing it is and like me really like settling in it. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so like fulfilled but like I am not where I thought I was gonna be, but I'm also like, okay, cool. That kind of makes me like sit back and like rest easy a little bit because I'm like, it's worked out this good until now. I'll
crazy.
just buckle up. Like,
it is like, that's such an interesting perspective of like, I envisioned this and I was on the path for that. And then my path changed and that path ended up being good.
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
God's probably
heard.
like,
Yeah.
Girl,
Literally.
we've done this so many times.
So,
Me at 11, like, if I don't get this, I'm gonna die. And he's like, and here you are, happier than ever.
And alive.
So spooky.
There's that.
Imagine that. Imagine me ordering your steps.
Wild.
Imagine me having
just
the
like
days
I told
written.
you to. Yeah.
Imagine hope in the future and my plans for you. Like, weird. All things work together for your
I thought
good.
I said that, but
That tattoo on your ankle?
Yeah.
You've been cute. I meant it when I said it. All right, we gonna see. Love ya. With that being said, though, that's so interesting you mentioned this because off script. Do you feel like had you not, because now I'm thinking as your pal, right? I do think you were on a route to go like toward those societal norms at a certain cadence and time frame. And now that we've bopped it, flipped it, twisted, and we're going a different direction, probably thankfully so. Anyway, but do you feel like you would have even had this perspective had that not happened? Or you would be like, no, I'm on the route to have like 3 babies in a 4-bedroom house in the South?
I think that like what I want hasn't changed. I think how I'm getting there.
Ooh, that's good.
Changing. So but like to your point, for the better, I think. And
come on, Wicked.
And I think I've always everybody go see it.
Yeah. It's not an ad, but it could
Don't
be.
sing in the theaters though. That'll be annoying. But I think that like it like that's where I've learned to trust is like I still hold so many things just so deeply and like I still want and desire so many things, but I feel like I'm preparing for it in a different way and being like this detour I'm seeing as an opportunity. Yeah, like it's not a detour. God's like, this is literally the route. I'm so sorry.
Like, how dare we get over here? We're there.
He's like, this is actually
like
the
a
route.
bump in
like,
the road.
You think it's a detour? No. Like there was
what you were on was a detour. I mean, this was the path. This was the yellow brick road.
Back.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. We've been waiting for you.
Truly.
And I think that's fair though, because I think something that you mentioned that is the like overshadowing cloud in a way, because it's like I can look at my friends, like we live in the 2 most populous major cities in the United States, kind of almost the world, and that comes with its own set of experiences like that other people could never even imagine, like even going to a baby shower today and you jokingly being like, you know, people in this town having babies, like it's so odd. But then I can remember like when I first moved out here and was working, I can remember my bosses thought it was so weird that I was 21 years old, 22 years old going back home for weddings. They were like, I think they thought I was like Laura Ingalls, like they literally thought it was giving like child bride. And still, like I'll still say to my friends, it's not a child bride, you know what I mean? And like now it's like maybe a teen bride, perhaps. A young bride. Well, hello, what are you gonna do? Literally Annie having her second baby, I'm like, are you gonna finish school?
You've got to get your degree. It's
like
important.
You're literally your GED, like I hope you study. What are you gonna do? Married. No, what are you gonna do? You're pregnant. What do you mean by that? So
are your parents gonna help?
No, like I'll like come home from college and like help you out on the weekend. Like I don't
I'll
like girl, we're there. We've taken the ACT. Like SAT if you're nasty. So we're like not even near it.
Like we're not like
further from it
in our job. Like, we're not entry level. We've actually been around the block.
But like once, not several.
Yeah.
And that's what matters. She wants to age us so bad. And I'm like, you go over there by yourself and sit down. But
we're college.
Okay, fair.
Live. Yeah.
We have, but there's so much more life to live.
No,
but
truly.
Along those terms, I think a lot of what as women societally we're taught is that life that there is left to live is babies, somebody's wife, little house on a prairie. And I think it's unique for us because it's not that unique. I think people hopefully feel this way, but I think a lot of the rhetoric out there, childless cat lady, all of that is like one side of the spectrum or the other. You either want like 32 kids by 32 and a husband and you just want to sit at home and be barefoot and pregnant, or you like I'm about to say something, but like F them men, like vagina hat. You know what I mean? There's no in between. Yeah. Which sometimes I am on the latter spectrum just because they get on my nerves, not because I don't ever want one. Like in that capacity, they do concern me. That species.
Knock on my door,
but like when you get here, like don't get on my nerves. So, because why are you in my home every day? I can't imagine that. Like you having had that experience and now being in your home minding your business.
Yeah.
Like. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing here?
It is really
like when I come home, a man in my home.
It's really interesting. Wait, like off the I did have this thing where like I'd be turning a corner and he'd be right there, and like it would be such a jump scare. And he's like, "I live here," and I'm like, "I know, I'm still not used to it."
I don't know why you do. Yeah. So I live here.
Thank you. No, I literally. He'd be like, I live here.
Strange man in my apartment.
Yeah.
Literally to the police. And it's my husband. Yeah. So since there is that societal pressure, like we joked earlier, you could literally be running for the president of the United States. And it'll be like, well, who are you in a relationship with? Why don't you have kids? Like all of that. And I think that adds to the pressure because you could be fully fulfilled or not. Like you can still want those things and still feel fulfilled. I think that's what's really interesting is you can be grateful for where you're at and still want additional things to that. So that's what I'm navigating in life.
Yeah.
But I think seeing people in these marriages or having babies, partnerships, whatever, since that is set up for women. Okay, I'm getting there. Thank you, Lord. Since that is set up for women to be the end goal, it almost is like those people have reached final destination completion and you haven't yet by society standards. And I think that's what makes the different seasons feel worse. And at least for me, I think there is such a unique lived experiences in the cities that we live in. And then when you link up with friends that don't, it's almost like sometimes I feel that they're like, oh, you're not married? Oh, you're not having a baby? Like whatever. And it's like, that's so not my environment.
Yeah.
But it feels like when you go back into another environment, there's a little bit of a friction that sometimes feels like, and even if I have this conversation with them, some of them will literally be like, no, I want to be on what you're on. But like it comes across sometimes it's like, oh girl, just forget that man and it's like, girl, like remember you and your husband broke up 32 times and we don't talk about that now because you know how the story ends. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying like if we want to keep
the
it
destination is just
like two Virgils, that's what occurred. So just because you are further in the journey specifically when it comes to the domestication of it all doesn't mean that like I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah, I think, we're all running our own race. And to your point, it's like, these are all just aspects of our life. They're not our entire life. And so while we've had the opportunity to focus on our career and all the opportunities around us and all of our like goals in that area,
those crazy things,
that is like this most recent like lane that we are conquering and like focusing on. But then there are other lanes, whereas like some people might be prioritizing the family lane, some people might be prioritizing the financial lane. I don't know, whatever it is for them.
Career,
and so it's like the education lane, whatever, and it just is like everybody gets to choose their own adventure, and it's about respecting everybody's adventure, and not like judging the like women who are getting the opportunity to thrive in their careers. Like that's not a negative, and that's not
it's like not you prioritizing yourself.
Like it's like, God forbid,
because
I have something of my own and something to be proud of. Like
that's not like tied to a man
or another person in general.
At all. It's always going to be tied to a man because you need their sperm to make a baby. So even your baby is tied to a man. Like there was evidence the man was here.
Like
or turkey based.
You can't claim that thing
either way
on your own.
Like somebody did something.
Yes, but it's like I think it's this whole like, and also like we're so young. Like I don't feel loneliness in this lane. I think that's the common misconception, and like I'm literally having fun doing my job with my friends, like and it's like it's so not like job. Silly, but like it's like I'm like cosplaying as a music agent, like I'm like I'm just silly.
Bebopping.
No, literally I'm bebopping, and it's like and it's working for me, and I'm thriving, and I'm growing in a way that I could have never imagined. So like that's why I'm cool with the detour, as I'm calling it. But like, that's why I'm cool with where I'm at, because like it is just so crystal clear that this is where I'm supposed to be. And like, this is where why I am here at this point in time in this like situation and point in my life is because like I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing. And like and I had to go through things to get here, but
do you feel like that clarity does that persist in those relationships and in those moments where it's like, oh, everyone here is like married, or like, oh, I'm having this conversation with my friend and I'm like about to go on this trip, or I'm about to go out and they're about to have a baby? Like, what does that look like in those dynamics? Because I think thankfully you don't feel that loneliness, but I think that's a big thing that people do feel, especially if like, you know, we're kind of chameleon girlies. Like we have a lot of friends in different buckets. Yeah. Some people are like, these my three and that's it. So, like, if those three are all in that stage and you're not, there is a heavy feeling of, like, hello. Even with, like, my two besties from growing up, Hope and Annie. Yeah. Like, just having had Hope's wedding, obviously, I don't think tonight I want to be married, per se. And tomorrow, I don't want to push a baby out, per se. Yeah. Those are things I want eventually in life, for sure. Not eventually, like, 30 years from now, Lord, because I can't play with you. Got to be direct. But like, it being the three of us, there was a moment in vulnerability where I was like, I feel like the last of the Mohicans. Like, I really was like, this is so weird because now I'm the only one of us three that doesn't have that experience of like, I'm partnered off or I'm married off. Yeah. And I was like, is that weird? Like, this is what I thought to myself, and I was like, And then literally in her wedding, everyone, all the bridesmaids, except for me and the junior bridesmaid who was 13 years old, I believe. Or 10, somewhere there. Well, we're 16, so. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're close in age, so it makes sense. But the other girls are running off being child brides. Like, where's your mom? I'm kidding. Love her mama. But regardless, there was a weird, I mean, I think it's weird because especially it goes back to that environment of just when that's so paramount there. I think people are like, there's no way you're really like happy, or like, oh, you chose that fast life. You know, that like Southern undertone where it's like, okay, cool, but like, who are you dating? I can literally be like, hey, I cured cancer last week. And they'd be like, oh, did you and your boyfriend go out and celebrate it? Like, that's like what it is for women. Yeah. And that's so frustrating. Yeah. But all of that wrapped up into, for people who are navigating like, oh, I feel like that more often than not, and I don't have anybody else to look to. Like, what is that about? How do they kind of preserve those relationships? Yeah. Without feeling like the odd man out or woman?
Yeah, I think... woman. I think it is for me when I have, because I have felt that, and like that comes up sometimes. I like, we go to so many weddings and have so many occasions. Like, wedding crashers. Like, we get paid. We go 27 dresses, literally. No, but bordering. It's like, for me, I'm like, I know I want that. And it's just me kind of being realistic about like, that's just not for me right now. Also, like, this works for them. And like, this is like, this situation and these two personalities and these two people. And like,
that makes sense here today.
Yeah. Like, that is why and like, that is for them. And like, I can only hope that I find somebody who makes so much sense for me. I can't wait for that. I want that to be so crystal clear. Yeah, like,
I want people in the audience like,
to be like, oh, I get
it. I should have waited. Like, maybe I should have sat down for a minute.
Like,
this is it.
Yeah.
And I want it to be giving lavish. I want it to be giving like, we got married. And
we didn't cut corners. Like,
we have money in our pocket and we spend it on this.
Tink, baby.
One thing that it does do is, I'm like, no, I don't like that. Oh, I'm gonna do that. Like, it gives you so much material for your own ceremony.
There is a lesson in all of this. I take away things.
She said I carry my notebook around.
No, literally, I hear people sleep training and, you know, dealing with like, wedding planners. And I'm just like, cool. I'm so glad I don't have to worry about this right now. Like, but like, yes, thank you for like I'm glad I'm in my like little sister era or whatever. But like, you know, according to society, I'm behind. But I'm glad I get to see what is to come. So? And how to deal with it when I get there. And I'm like, I'm sure I will get there soon enough. And I will be like all the other older women who are like, I could be 28 again.
Hello?
Like, so I'm like, I'm not gonna rush, because also I want to be as prepared as possible, as content as possible, and just in the right space when I get there, and like that will be the season for that.
And it's how you envision it, I think, also, because I would love to have a relationship where we talk about this, like with dating older men or not. I don't necessarily mind now that we're at an older age and they at least have a frontal lobe, just based on science. I don't know about the maturity of it all. But like, I don't mind dating my age or close to it, because I love the idea of like building with someone. But like, I think I would love to have time where we're married or whatever, and it's just us, and then bring a kiddo around. However, I'm aware of like science not caring about women enough to figure out why we can't have babies like Janet did at 50 quite yet. Like, why is that not on the mainstream access page? But I think the mother that I have, and I think your mother as well, like, they're so incredible that even though they were accomplished in their, that lady got a doctorate and had children in school. That's like, great. I'm like, nuts. I don't even remember I remember like Mom Has to Study. Like, it was like a theme, but I don't remember seeing it for real. Like, you did your big one. So regardless, but I always knew like you're the ultimate. Like, it was never like, oh, my mom's out in the street, wonder where she at. Well, like, it was like, she was about us and for us. So that's what I want to be able to do. I don't want to be like, sorry kids, mama's gotta go cut a rug, because I didn't get to do it in my youth. You know,
I always say, I'm glad that I'm taking this route, because I feel like I am working this hard now so that when I do have a family, when I am watching my children grow up, and I'm like focusing on my marriage and like building a life, I can do that. But like, I ain't got no business doing that at 28. Like what so like, how about I like make myself as great as I can be and as ready as I can be for when that time comes. And it will be it will be great. It will be as designed, and because we had phenomenal mothers and phenomenal families who were around us, and like I want to be in a position where I can make sure I'm around my family, whatever that looks like, and I'm not isolated in a faraway city. And so like I want to make sure that I'm set up to have the life that I had and more.
So you feel like you'll move back?
Not even that. I'd love to afford to bring my mom there or wherever. Like, I know that's right, so it's like I just want to be in a more sturdy place, and facts. That ain't it now.
Especially in these unsturdy cities.
Literally, like
when I close my eyes and envision like a house in the hills is not. Who gonna pay for that? No, like, right now today. Whew. We in the foothills, but like, hello,
Harlem Hills.
Hello, one of them. Like, literally, just on the hill, a hill at large, just sitting on the
Sugar Hill. So New York.
I just laughed in this thing like a horse, like it ricocheted through my throat. So I hope so too. Just to wind it down, because I feel like kind of what we're orbiting around is avoiding when possible, or just not even avoiding. Maybe everything isn't about avoidance. Maybe it's just about working through that feeling of comparison when those moments do come up. And feeling like, oh, my friends in this stage of life, we have nothing to talk about, or oh, they don't want to talk to me because I'm not married, or oh, they don't want to talk to me because I am married and I have kids. Like, we haven't thought about their end. Sorry, girls. But I know like a lot of my friends, especially that are moms, I think that's something that I learned from one friend from her postpartum that I was able to like try to apply to my current friend that's closer to postpartum, of just, hey girl, because even the baby shower I just went to, like, the gifts were for the mom, really, because I remember the one I went to in April, she was like, that's a different conversation, but I was just like, oh, this is kind of like, about the baby. It's called baby shower. But to be fair, like, that postpartum is crazy. Having a child is insane. And then it's kind of just like, what even is your identity around that? So being able to show up for them in those seasons is cool to like observe, and like you said, take our notes everywhere there. But for those people who just feel like, okay, I can't relate to these people who used to feel so in lockstep with me, how can they kind of move through that feeling of comparison of, oh, I have a child suckling on my teat and they're in Italy, Or, oh, I'm in Italy, but I wish I was here with my husband.
I honestly think it's just about realizing that like these are all human experiences, like we're all going through them, and to remember that like you are friends with these people and you have a connection with these people because of, you know, whatever blossomed in the early stages of your meeting and, you know, growing together, and like remembering like that hasn't changed because maybe we're running different races or whatever, like that is still at our core, and sometimes that's not true, but I think if your connection is still strong and like you are still, you know, invested in your relationship with this person or people, I think it's like putting your all into it, not, you know, being discouraged by like the differences in life and what it looks like, and if anything being encouraged by that and allowing that to like motivate you to learn from them or to, you know, for them to learn from you, and like to still foster connection and community, and making that how we navigate all these stages, because you might be in that stage that they're in and they'll be in your stage, and like you will, like the, you know, the roles will be reversed, and you're like you're gonna need them in ways, and they're gonna need you in ways, and so it's like it's always showing up regardless of the differences, and yeah, like really enjoying it. That's like good. Like we watched how many seasons of Sex in the City? They went through some things.
And God has a funny way of paralleling your life like that. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's always just like that. Just like that. He'll parallel it. It's either like, I'm about to go through something you just went through, or we going through at the same time. That's when it's like, girl, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Like, you know, that's when we're like, crash out. Holding hands though. Crash out. Literally about to crash out. But I think, yeah, it's interesting because I think that what you were saying about knowing when that connection is the baseline, I think it's similar to like, I'm no marriage therapist, but I feel like that's the advice that you will overhear. It's like what brought y'all together to begin with. Yeah. And sometimes that's like we literally just live in the same town. And so maybe that's not a friendship that we have to like pull our follicles out behind. Yeah. Like maybe we can be open. I'm always saying be open to God bringing new people in your life. And I think that everything in our society
and your relationship's evolving.
Part. Yeah. New people could be the people that you already know, but the new version of them. Yes. And yourself, hopefully. If you're living, you should be growing. Yeah. So there's that. But I think that obviously this is something that's spoken about a lot in romantic stances, because that's what our society focuses on. Like, be open to a new person coming in. But like, friendship, love, please.
Yeah, that's
these people,
the cornerstone.
They've seen me.
Yeah.
Like, girl.
Through it all. Yeah.
Like, hello. I just be answering the phone, eyes crossed, hair going different directions. Hey.
Because when that man left, they were there.
Hello, before him, during, and after. Yeah. That's what it gives. Yeah. So that's just for women. That's my tidbit for y'all to watch your back. I'm just kidding. It's a warning, really, more than anything. But yeah, I just think being like, trying to find common ground, and that could literally just be in being silly. Like, maybe you don't need to be like, yeah, my nipples are also I don't know, I'm very nipple focused today. But maybe you don't need to, thank you. It doesn't need to be so like, oh, F boys, let's talk about it. Like, it doesn't have to be so niche. Yeah. You can find people that are more aligned with that. Yeah. But I also think it's helpful to have people that, now, ones you admire, because you don't know people's business for real, so this is tough. But marriages, relationships, whatever, careers, things that you admire and want, I think it's also good to have those people in your life. Yeah. It's like mentors, and mentors don't have to be 30 years older than you. Yeah. So I think like being open to hearing some information that might not be the best to hear. Yeah. Or like consider the source always. Yeah. But then also just being willing, sometimes it's like, LOL, look at this meme. We used to laugh about this when we were 11. Like, that's fine too. Everything doesn't have to be like, hello, today I'm calling you and you know my social security and we talk about it every day. Yeah. Like, it doesn't always have to be so nitty gritty. But like you said, I love that you said like showing up. Whatever that looks like in this season. Yeah. Like, be open to it being different. Yeah. But still mattering. Yeah. I love that. And on that, we're going to wind down to the bid section. We're just going to do one little quick question. So bids on our show, as you know, as a loyal member, are questions, letters, etc. that the members just send in, you know, and they're like, please help, please help, please help. That's what they say in my ears. So this one that we have today, it just says, I'm like kind of nervous about this one, but it's like, how do I decide if a friendship is worth maintaining while we're at drastically different stages of life? Or how do I know if I just need to let it go and see if we come back together, basically, is what she said. Like, essentially, holla at you.
You know me.
See,
I'm like.
I didn't even say it. You know me. She does it.
So.
I'm scared. And try your own risk.
I am an Aries. I'm just kidding. That literally matters none to my answer. But interpret how you may for those who believe. Yeah. There's no right answer here. There really isn't. Really? And let me just listen. Okay, we can bounce. Mm-hmm. But I really hold on to people, places, things, opportunities, experiences that are put in my life. I sometimes and but just because I am so aware that I am so blessed in so many ways, and so I sometimes I grip too hard. Yeah, I'm like, God gave it to me, it's mine. So
my name on it. Bless it with my name.
Yeah, so my name on it.
Like
no one else.
It's not refundable.
Yeah,
I traded.
He gave it to me. So I would say gauge it however you.
I'm so sorry. He gave it to me.
He gave it to me. I mean, so serious. But I'll also
all the child coded of you. My toy, that's what you. My blessing. Okay, girl, you got it.
It's like these people. Oh my God, it's like these people who have been brought into your life that you've had a friendship with, etc. before. There was value there, and so I am just not. I'm rarely the first person to give up just because I'm like. I've been given I've been given these hardworking bones for a reason. I want to apply myself, whatever. Yeah,
put in the work.
So yeah, I think that but all that being said, I am very accepting when it becomes clear because it does. I do stay in it until it doesn't make any more sense for me. And I have felt that so deeply before. And I have taken a sharp pivot. Sometimes people have been taken by surprise, but I have to because I am investing so much.
I agree.
If it's not for me, I have to be okay, cool, because it was mine. And God will have more that is for me.
Clear, with my name.
Yes, exactly. There will be more with my name on it.
Not overstaying our blessing.
Yeah. No, honestly, but I always want to be a good steward of my blessing, and so I think that is just something I continue to pray about. Yeah, and work on. Yeah. But I think my hands up approach when it makes sense works for me. So I would just advise anybody to continue to invest in it because there was something there. However, naturally, not everybody is gonna ride with us until the end, and it's that makes me so sad. Yeah. But I think that it's you'll know when it's time. No, I know I'll cry, but yeah, I think that if you still have love to give, they still have love to give. I think it just wait it out and see, and don't give up on people because we're all people. We're all yeah.
I feel like it's communication. You can't talk to yourself though. So I feel like there's a reason you're probably asking that question. There's something that's coming up that's giving friction.
An instance, yeah.
Either it's I'm always calling you, or every time I call you,
unpack it. Yeah.
Higher than mightier or whatever. Higher, what? Higher mighty. Higher than.
I like it
that.
though. Yeah.
What is it?
Higher than mightier. Yeah. No,
write that down.
Extra. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it gives. That's what they're upset about, I suppose. And so I think I would try to assess. It goes back to our boundaries episode where she was basically what is it that you're feeling? What's coming up for you when these instances occur? And I think that's so funny of like listening to your body and how your body would be like, ah!
Yeah.
And you're like, I wonder if things are weird. Like it's like, and you're like throwing up when you're like thinking about calling
heaving,
them.
Yeah.
Like you're like hiding from the, like under the bed in your own home because you see their text message. Like, girl, what? Like, first of all, have a little awareness.
Yeah.
Know
thyself.
And then if you can communicate, like I think relationships work if both people are willing.
Yeah.
And that's key. And all the time, it's not that. Like some people don't have the same tight grip knuckle that like we seem to carry. But I think a powerful thing that's come over time is once there's two ways to do it. This one, enter at your own risk. I say this every time. You say, God, if this ain't it, remove it. That's a harsh one. So yeah, comes quick, fast, and in our.
And you have to be ready.
Don't play.
Do not pray that
Don't
prayer.
even play with him. He said, "Oh, say
because every time
he's gonna press that red button.
Every single
he's gonna
time.
Pull the lever, crunk.
And it's like
in the worst way. No, like there's no confusion.
People will always come to you like, "Well, what happened? I can't explain it."
Like he basically turned to a witch. Like literally, she's witnessed one time where I'd prayed the prayer the day before she arrived at my home, and the whole next few days were unexplainable, inexplicable. Like to this day,
chaos.
Like
anarchy.
Trauma with every letter capitalized. Like actually. So regardless, be ready.
Y'all looped me into it. Yeah, no.
She was trying to
look. I got a tight
like,
knuckle grip for everybody. I
appreciated that. Yeah, I appreciated that.
But
hey, until we don't.
But I'm not crazy
either. Okay, mom ain't raised no fool is the thing. So don't be a fool. Like you can't fight for something on your own.
Yeah.
There's a way you could go about it where God can be like, "Now I've been showing you, but I'm slapping you with it." Or you could simply try to have the conversation. If they don't want to have the conversation, then all you can do is move on. Like you can't beg, and you don't need to anyone to be there. And I know it's so much easier said than done when you're like, "Oh, this is my best friend since we were 6, and I got no other friends." Like I know it's easy to say, like, make more friends, but in a painful time, that's even harder. So I want to be compassionate toward that.
Yeah.
But I just think it's literally about having communication. Hey, this is how I'm kind of feeling. Like sometimes when we chat, I feel like this. Don't know if it's me.
Yeah.
Also having self-awareness.
Yeah.
Do I want this in my life? And do I feel like I'm at a deficit? So I'm assuming that you think I am.
Yeah.
Sometimes
also, if you're
that's
not willing
at play.
to work, if you're not up for it, if
it can't always be them.
If you're there, then you know thyself.
Yeah, we need two to tango.
Yeah.
And then if those things aren't panning out, like I think just being willing to make room for the new. And sometimes that is letting go.
Yeah.
Not the old, but just what has to be cleared sometimes.
Yeah.
And if it's supposed to be, it'll come back.
Always. Or it'll be replaced.
With something better, ideally.
Something so much better.
And give it time to be better now. If it ain't like, you can't expect somebody from 3rd grade to be gone, and then the person you met on the bus last week to know the jokes from 4th grade. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So we can't do that.
Yeah, give it time.
Yeah.
Leave room, leave space.
Yeah.
And
just believe that you deserve the friendship that you're trying to give, or the relationship that you're trying to give, or the love that you're trying to give.
Yeah.
Like, I think when you are a tight gripper and a hard lover like us, when it finally does get to a place, even though it's a drag, honey, once you finally let go, like, it's almost like, it's kind of like, I'm sorry, I told my mom, so we can't fix this. Like, she knows, so it's too late. Like, there's no turning back, but like, I'm my mom at that point, because it's like, I know that I've put it all on the field. I've done everything I can do.
Yeah.
So if we reach this point, it's no return.
Yeah.
I fear.
Yeah. No.
Pleasure doing business.
It's been fun.
Hey,
it's been real.
It's been fun. It's been real fun. I'm screaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't give up on your friends.
No.
Life's gonna evolve. Hopefully you're evolving with it. And sometimes, most times, pretty much from 21 and up, you're not gonna be in the same city. Even you and I, like, both, like, not married, not having, put that second down as far. Let me see your glass. But he gonna have espresso tea right now. But regardless, like, we're experiencing different things. We're in different.
Yeah.
So like, we're all, and everyone their own background, upbringing. But be willing to like restructure the way the relationship is.
Yeah.
Like, everybody doesn't need to be like, today I went to the bathroom 3 times. You know what I mean? Like, there doesn't need to be that degree. And also, it's kind of like what happens when people are in proximity to you. Like, you're gonna end up like hanging out with them more because they're physically there. Like that's okay, but it's like
that
knowing,
comes with the stages of life.
Hello?
Like, yeah,
knowing what relationships that you have, and then knowing how those work and how you can like make them work in their unique way is probably the key for this.
Yeah, at this moment in time, which looks a lot different.
Don't worry about tomorrow. Because all we can do is today.
And leave yesterday where it is.
Hello?
Child.
Today has enough trouble of its own, and that's scripture.
That's in the word.
Take that up with God. And to close out, we're going to do the age-old tradition.
Love it.
But how are you going to bid on you and your friendships and the stages in this next stage of life?
I'm going to follow God and listen to Gavin DeGraw when he said, I don't want to
Looks at camera. I don't know why I looked at the fake. I do it so much that I still looked at the fake camera and there's a camera.
I don't want to be anything other than what I've
been trying to be lately. Okay. I know that's right.
Bid on you, babe.
So follow God and be, I don't
follow God and Gavin DeGraw. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
But follow God and listen to Gavin DeGraw. But but honestly, just like I am going to just be more comfortable with where I'm at because the blessing has my name on it and it's been given to me and this is all for me.
Oh, I'm happy.
So cute. This was the most serious event for this amount of time. I'm so proud of us.
This is serious, and like all the spikes on the audio are like, ah! Like every person, like I'm gonna have to like, okay, sure,
no, please.
Now you see where we're up again. Like honestly, just raw cut. I hope this is what y'all are watching.
Oh, but that would be nuts.
Yeah, we won't be syndicated.
We won't be on air for long. We got Emily in the house.
Hey, stay, Stasia. Stay, Stasia. That's cute. Okay, period. Thanks for watching. Cheers, and we'll see you next time. Mwah.